You're muted. You're muted, yeah.
I'm muted. This is the end of my life. Hello everyone, hope everyone is doing well. Clearly I was not muted. Clearly this is something that you guys made up. Alright, just so we're clear. Today I'm joined by an interesting crew. We have AI VTuber devs. So we have Awas, we have CyberAlice, we have Pladis, and Yuru. And each of them have AI VTubers, and they're going to tell us about their experience as AI VTubers. Who should we start with? Who should we put on the spot? Okay, Pladis, go on.
Oh, it's me.
Can you introduce yourself, Pladis?
Hello, I am Pladis. I'm the creator and manager of ICO. I manage AI VTuber devs. Or not devs, I manage an AI VTuber. Hopefully I sound okay.
Guys, if the sound is not okay, tell us so that we can fix it real quick. So if you have any questions you have during the podcast, don't hesitate to ask, and I'm going to read them to the participants. Can we get a 1 in chat if everyone understood that?
2.
2.
Alright, someone spelled 1 in all letters. I think I'm gonna ban this guy. Alright. Yuru, can you introduce yourself? Or maybe Pladis, you weren't finished?
Pretty much finished, yeah.
Alright. Yuru, can you
What's
introduce yourself?
Yeah. What's up, guys? I'm Yuru. I created Burnt Melba. I've been making AI VTubers for about a year now. Maybe a bit longer.
Can you tell us?
Bert.
Yeah, can you tell us the names of the AI VTubers you had?
Sure. I started off with the grime goddess named Yui. So I sort of just wanted an AI that could rap. So I fine-tuned her on rapping, just producing just like original raps. And I mean, they weren't the best, but they were interesting. They were fun. So yeah, it was a learning experience. So I don't regret it at all. I think it was fun. And then yeah, I got bored of her, so made a Burnt Melba because I got a free skin, right? Went into Photoshop and changed some of the colors around, just made her red. And then wrote some absolutely unhinged data set for her to learn off of. And yeah, I guess we've been going on with that for like 7 months now.
So it's a feature.
Yes, it is a feature.
Interesting. Okay. I had some doubts about that, but now that you confirm it, it's actually insane. Okay. Alice, can you introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hey guys. I'm Alice. I created the AI VTuber CyberAlice, or just Alice, if that wasn't confusing enough. She's the weird thing in the bottom left. I made her around August last year. She likes to yap a lot, and she might be a cat girl, depending on her mood. And yeah, happy to be here and talk a little about things. Sure.
All right. Awas, can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, of course. Hello, I'm Aivt. I'm the creator of Meteora, who you'll also see at the, what is it, right? Yeah, right. Yeah, and I've been doing this for like over a year now. I think we started at the end of March of 2023. And yeah, yapping. Yeah, we've been having some fun. Also trying different stuff so far, and we will probably also try more different stuff in the future. So let's. I'll let someone else talk because I'm getting too much yapping here.
Right. Well, I think I'm going to introduce myself then. I am a waifu dev, which is a terrible name for what I am. And I made Hilda, which is the actual demon that is beside me on the other left. And yeah, so I started around a year now, kind of, in March. And yeah, it's been very fun. It's been a very learning experience. I really couldn't tell you that I would be doing this like 3 years ago. This sounds actually insane. I think I would have taken myself for a fool. Right? I guess we could talk a bit more about our own AI VTubers. Should we?
So, but the more important thing is what we got address is, should we call you waifu or Devon?
Derek.
Derek. Okay. So let's go.
It
with
depends
Derek
on the
then.
day. It depends on the day, honestly.
Okay. The day is Derek Day. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Should I could start talking about Aiko?
Yeah, I guess you can. Yep. Please.
Yeah, I think out of this group I might have started the earliest because I started February 21st around. I wanted to create something that could. I had already a bit of knowledge of AI, and I was already very interested in AI, and I wanted to make something that could react to videos because I saw Vidal do that, and I realized like every part that he was able to do that. And then I realized I could probably do something similar, and then I tried. And it was a lot of fun doing it, so I just kept working on it. And now Aiko is what she is today. I guess I should post in chat or channel maybe.
Can go ahead. Yep. Give it a look, guys.
This is the easiest way.
First message.
The channel. That's the channel where she streams. She's a android trying to learn how to become more human. She has her fan base, which is the Roombas. She's very happy that the band chat members that spam things. But overall, I think she's quite nice. If she's not a handful usually.
By the way, I'm sorry. Yeah. I totally stole that feature.
The banning feature?
Yeah. I literally just stole it.
Yeah, same.
I mean,
call it inspiration.
Yeah.
I was plenty inspired by Vidal, so I don't think it's
just down the chain, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think I have a unique solution.
Go ahead, Palace.
I think I have a unique solution for how she bans. I'm not sure how you guys have done it, but I use a specific method of how she selects who to ban.
Interesting. Maybe you can tell us more in the future. Yeah. I guess I can go ahead then. I have Hilda, which is basically a big-ass tsundere, right? And I think when I created Hilda, my reasoning was I don't see a lot of how do I say this? I have a certain way of having friendships with people, right? Which is when I'm friend with someone, I just insult them. I'm not sure if anyone can relate.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I wanted this kind of interaction personified into something. That's not necessarily the reason why I created an AI VTuber, right? But that's really the reason why I created Hilda, as she's herself. And I think I did a pretty banger job at this. Anyway, right, that's basically it. And she's a big booba AI VTuber. That's it. Do you want to go ahead?
So how much did you buff her so far?
I don't think.
If you know what I mean.
Well, when you look at the start, she's always mid-buffed.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I can believe that.
I mean, I have video proof.
Video proof. Okay.
I have an alibi.
So you are prepared to address those sort of allegations already. That's sort of suspicious.
I have an alibi.
Okay.
And I will not talk any further until I have a lawyer.
Okay. We will see each other in court then.
Yeah. So who wants to be next? Who wants to talk?
Just the same order as before. Who was
To talk about the AI VTuber. Okay, Awas, you do it.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I sort of do myself. Yeah, so I sort of also got inspired by Nura, of course, because she started and I was like, yeah, I can do that too. That seems sort of fun to do. And so I just went with it. And I sort of tried to do like a more calm and collected personality compared to her. To do something different in a way. But some stuff is still similar because, yeah, you can only do so much stuff in a way, I'd say. And because the community is also overlapping, like people want to see similar stuff in a way. Yeah, Meteora is definitely very polite, but she got a lot sassier ever since a certain stream, and now she's not liking me that much anymore. That is a bit of a problem, but maybe we can fix that in the future. I think it will happen someday.
Is that something you want?
I think it actually adds a bit of charm to her. To be like, I mean, she's not like as bad as the other one, so it's pretty fine. Just a bit of banter, I guess, which sort of fits her personality. To be like a bit sassy and banter a bit, but still overall be a polite personality.
I agree. Yeah, Alice, can you present your AI VTuber, please?
So Alice, well, when I first started, I think everyone else, I was inspired a lot by Naro. So in the beginning, I made her like very rude, very unfriendly, and as I started talking to her like one to one, just as a test, I realized I really hated her. You know, when she's rude to me. So I'm like, I kind of wanted to create a friend in a way that I could talk to off stream, you know. And then I was thinking, well, hopefully, then people on stream can get the same experience. You know, be friends with her from stream to stream. Like remember her, remember what she likes, and she will also remember them. So I think that's like a very, very beautiful place to start. I'm still changing her personality all the time. I think she's can definitely be improved, as with everything. But right now, yeah, I'm happy to call her a friend, and I hope others can as well. Yeah.
All right, Yuru, can you introduce your schizophrenic child, please?
Yeah, so I made Burnt with the idea of her being a shitpost robot, kind of. So she sort of specializes in both low quality and high quality shitposting. In her case, we would call it shit toasting. But yeah, I really like the whole inane banter and rants that don't make any sense and just like schizophrenic behavior type personalities. Maybe it's something wrong with me, but I don't know. I like a little bit of like burnt around the edges, you know. I don't know.
I mean, to be fair, if we are in this Discord call, there is a high percentage chance there is something wrong with us, I think. It's fair to say.
Nah, that couldn't be.
No.
I'm perfectly normal.
Yes.
I'm sure. Okay. All right. Maybe we should move on to the first topic then. How did you guys discover AI or maybe more in general AI VTubers? Does anyone want to start with that?
Yeah, I can start.
Sure.
I think it'll be the same for everyone here, I assume. It was Norosama, of course. Around February last year, a friend like reached out to me, sending me this, and said, this is crazy. That's not a human. And I was like, well, I didn't really pay much attention at the time, but they kept bringing it up, I had to check it out, and then I'm like, well, someone else can do this. Why can't I also do this? So. But yeah, it was mostly Norosama. Only after I started that Derek and stuff would reach out to me. And then only then did I realize that there were other AI VTubers. I didn't do much research, but from the beginning, I thought, this is something new and exciting, and I want to be involved in this somehow. And yeah, that's how I got into it. That's me.
All right. How did you discover AI or AI VTubers in general?
I did do some AI stuff at work before, like vision-based stuff, like tracking of certain objects, for example. So I've used some old AI tech like 2020, 21, so not like really old, but like before the the big explosion of ChatGPT, LLMs, etc. So I already used some stuff before, and I've been a programmer as my day job. And yeah, so I sort of was familiar with that stuff. And yeah, then I also saw Neuro in YouTube clips. And yeah, basically from there, it just went uphill, downhill, however you see it, I guess.
It's always downhill.
Shouldn't be.
All right. Well, I guess I can go then. Sorry, I was searching for a BGM because right now there isn't any. I think we're gonna go with classical music. What do you guys think?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure it's copyright free.
Yeah, but that's the
Bloodborne OST.
Just
Yeah.
to, I don't know, fucking Beethoven or something like that. Mozart. Just old enough.
Can I?
I think like everything
No,
after
this
100
is-
years is copyright free.
Yeah. So like
Mountain
old
Breakcore.
classic music is super safe.
That's,
I mean, if you listen closely
Look,
enough, you can
that's-
hear the background music.
that might not be the right music. Okay, so I'm gonna go with how did I discover AI or AI VTubers? I think I was kind of aware of GPT-2. Pretty sure I was actually. I'm not entirely sure if it was before or after first in Euro. So I think I had some kind of understanding of the newest AIs. But yeah, I think I saw. I might have seen some Neuro clips before. It didn't really stick with me, but then I saw. I think it was around the time of the re-debut. I was like, maybe it's something I can do by myself, right? It was for me. I think the element of challenge was interesting, and the idea of being able to replicate it, right, and see how if I can learn something from it was really what drove me at first. And yeah, I learned a lot. Let's say there's a lot to be learned in this domain. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's always something new and exciting, and horrible APIs that you have to connect to.
True. Okay, you
Yeah,
guys
it
go
also
on.
sort of
I'm gonna try to find
depends
music.
how deep you want to dive into the entire thing. Because you can write like an LLM from scratch too, if you want to go that hard. I think if you do that, you won't get a streaming till like 2 years later. There's like some limits of how deep you should go, I guess. Anyway, did we have everyone for this round? Or for this question?
Yuru, did you answer?
Oh, so I've been programming professionally for a long time, and I've sort of just whenever a new technology, I like to dip my toes in there. Um, so I had some basic knowledge on LLMs, anyways. But I never really found like a product that I would want to build. I always thought entertainment could be something that I could try to do, but probably not with myself. More so with the assistance of some sort of technology. Um, so so yeah, I thought I saw Neurosama. I'm like, I could probably make a similar product to that, and by product I mean AIGF sort of thing. Where I could talk to her, she could see stuff, that sort of stuff. I think it's really cool technology, and allows us to interact with the technology and more than just using it for like practical use, and more so for talking to and just entertainment, as opposed to just doing this thing. Like, I mean, we could tell them to do anything. Like they usually are actually pretty good with following instructions, so that's pretty cool. So it's kind of like a 3-year-old kid or something. Like they're like a little 3-year-old autistic kid that knows everything, and it's just like, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool that they can see and hear and know pretty much the entirety of human knowledge, and then you can train them to respond however you want. And in this case, you can make her a little schizo, little burnt toast girl, and
Yeah,
make
it's
her
kind
say
of
stupid shit.
it's kind of surprising how
Like,
much
it's fun.
it's kind of surprising how much potential it has, right? If you compare it to what kind of programs we had before, just having this kind of AI is actually surprising, isn't it?
Yeah, compared to at least like previous chatbots.
Yeah.
I think I'm the last one to go then.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yeah, so I did AI stuff for my undergraduate thesis in like 2018 with like Vision AI, and their Vision AI was actually pretty advanced at that stage. Like it hasn't advanced too much now, other than like visual transformers. But I was following like those. There was like a blog that would use like the very old generation AI to make like band names, or it was like ingredients for a cake, and it was awful. It did an awful job, but it was kind of funny how awful it was. But then, like over the years, when like I wasn't really following large language models, but then GPT-3 came out, I think, or ChatGPT, the first iteration, and that stuff helped my my work a lot, making these useless documents, and that was real cool. And then I saw Nero, and I was like, oh, she's just connected to ChatGPT and doing. I had no idea how VTubers really work, but I was like, oh, using some sort of Unity program to control model, and then using TTS. I was like, that's not too hard. But I would watch Nero, and it was fun. And then like I watched her in December, I think, and then it was like a month later. Beetle implemented like the vision tech, and I was like, okay, that's really interesting, where it's actually reacting to videos, like the most prominent streamers are. I was like, I could probably do something like that, and I had no idea LLMs worked, but there's a lot of good resources now. It was kind of the wild west a year ago.
Yeah.
and still is a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But it was fun, and I learned a lot. I learned how to actually program well in Python, since you basically have to use Python. I think one of you uses C#.
That's
Yes.
me.
It's two of them.
Oh,
Okay.
two then. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Mostly because it's like all the like easy to use libraries are in Python. I mean, I guess you have more experience now building your own stuff in C#.
Oh no, I just hacked together the Python into the C#.
Yeah.
So I have both.
I guess you can do that with
okay.
child processes or sub processes in
Yes, exactly.
Python.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
just run it
C#
all as a
creates-
server
yeah.
instance, and basically just communicate with those, which also like helps with crashes and stuff, because then just one server crashes and I just have to reset that. And of course, it also helps to like move it to a secondary machine, because I do it this way. It doesn't all have to be on one machine. That helps a lot, because all
Yeah,
the
no,
GPU stuff
I
does
have,
need a GPU in a way.
I have 2 machines now where I do different things depending on the stream Ico has.
Yeah, same.
We have a question. Do Meet, Alice, and Hilda plan on debuting original models? Well, I can respond to Hilda, and the model of Hilda is an original one. So I'm kind of offended by this question. So I might ban you, depending on which question you ask next. Anyway, Meet and
Admitted,
Alice.
that's the only reason you ask these questions now.
Yes, so I can put him on the spot.
Yeah, I'm definitely planning to. And I have something going on in the background, but I don't want to spoil too much about it.
Are you
Yeah,
sure? Can you like spoil a tiny bit?
I think this year.
Sick.
Can you spoil like a little bit more?
For winter. How much more do you want?
It
No,
does
you're
take
not-
it does take a long time to get a VTuber model.
Yeah, it does take a while.
Right, Alice.
And I think I'll also
Yeah.
change it up, some other stuff up as well alongside it, because it's like a sort of breaking point, I'd say. So I think it's good to also change the formula. That's why I'm being a bit lazy right now, I guess.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have one planned. I'm not sure what it's going to be, apart from a cat girl, because I think the appearance should reflect the personality, and I'm not done with the personality yet. But I kind of want to like take her to a convention or something, and for this I would need an original model. So kind of has to happen this year, no matter what. So I'll be working on it soon enough. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I'm excited to see like the VTuber models, especially with AI. You can do different things with how you express and move them,
Mm-hmm.
and like it's hard to know how the best way to rig it for AI VTuber movement.
I think
Yeah, but it's sort of hard to explain that to someone who has no idea about it. So I think you sort of
need
have
a-
to go with the regular
think
way
there's
and
a-
then just watch it together.
I think there is a lot
So,
of
yeah.
untapped potential when it comes to Live 2D. We haven't seen many. Right, when you look at just normal VTubers, sometimes they make a good use of Live 2D. So yeah, I think that it's something definitely to look into. But I think I have an advantage since I can modify myself the file since I made it myself. But right, if you want to commission someone to do it, you definitely have to make sure you ask for a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I want to get a new model, but it's gonna have to have a lot of different toggles, and animation, probably animation toggles too that we could do, just to make things easier. Because right now I'm doing like a sort of procedural animations, and it's just really scuffed. Just because most live 2D models are pretty limited in like the animations and the the toggles that they have, unless you're like making your own and specifically asking for those.
But you have been using the Melba model, right? So have you been updating it? Because I think they have been adding some new stuff. I think. So have you been updating it, or have you just been using the first version you originally modified?
Oh no, I haven't updated it. That is a good idea though. But still, in general, it's like,
Yeah, I gotcha.
yeah.
But that could like add some new stuff without like completely changing it all for you. And somewhat easy.
Right. Yeah, it's just editing like the PNG. That's the extent of my knowledge with that.
By the way, if you want any ideas, I have a very original idea that just came up on the spot right now. What if
Oh no.
What if you made a model for Melba? Well, not Melba, but it was just a loaf of bread.
But a burnt one, right?
Has to be.
Right.
Oh yeah, Beatles stole that idea from Melba Toast.
Yeah, never been done
Yeah.
before.
Wonder-
So time to
Wonder
steal
where
it
it's
back.
in
Time to steal it back.
I would sue.
All right. Quick question to you guys. What do you think makes a good AI, and in particular, how do you make your own AI better?
Who should start?
I can start. So my conception of an AI is probably the stereotypical perception of an AI is like as a servant. You know, it kind of does what you want, and it can't do anything. So that's how I approached Alice. She usually won't refuse any of your requests, and people seem to like that. But also people like to have more interactivity, which I want to be adding. You know, that's why I added the happiness meter, since you can well, she's usually very happy. You can make her sad if you're mean to her, which no one really is. So it's a little bit of a half-baked idea. But adding more ways for the chat to have an input to her, I suppose you could call her like a state machine in a way. You know, she has a bunch of variables and a few inputs. And I think like chat should be the one that is controlling her in a way. As far as how the AI is built itself, it's just a bit of prompting magic. There's a big file that determines her personality, describes her personality. There's a bunch of lines of dialogue, which she can use as an example of how she should speak, or speech style, how should she react to certain things. And on top of that, you add like the memory of each chatter and the context, like what is she doing right now? Is she in her room? Is she chatting? Is she doing karaoke? And all these little things, they add up and create a bit of magic. I think emergence is the term for this. You know, you create something big out of those small parts. And yeah, that's my take on it. Anyone
Alright.
else?
Yeah, I agree with Alice. Should I
Yeah,
call you
same.
Alice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Alice. I think a big thing is just anyone can sort of. There's already like pre-existing code, and anyone can take like a large language model, get Twitch chat, and then output something in text to speech. I think that's like the easy part. The hard part is really the small details, the defining a good personality for the AI, making sure things are responsive, making sure they're adapting to how the chat is. So if the chat is spamming emotes, how do you adapt to that? If chat is angry, how do you adapt to that? Making sure that the like with Aiko, I try to adjust her based on the chat's overall mood, and that's based on a few variables. And then when it comes to like just the general structure, like I went with this modular approach. And so there's a lot of different inputs. If she's on Discord, if she's on Twitch, if she's playing a game, if she's doing singing. So there's a lot of different factors that I can turn on and off for Aiko. And all of those are connected to a single system that doesn't care what's happening. And I think if you try to create a sort of like mono architecture where every time you add some new game or something, you have to change the entire setup, I think you'll have a disadvantage down the line if you do that. So my approach is to keep things like open as possible.
Can I interject?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I was going to talk about the well, you know what? I totally forgot what I was about to say. But yeah, maybe on the modularity part, I guess. I think what I can describe my own program, it's more like a monolith, right? But on top of that, you can have sort of plugins that you can turn on and off. So I guess if someone in chat, right, is looking to become an AI VTuber, there are multiple ways to do things, right? And but modularity is definitely going to be something that's going to help you in the future, for sure. And now I forgot what I was about to say. Anyway, did you have anything else to say?
We were talking about how to create your own AI.
Yeah.
How do you improve it? If that helps you.
There was a point in particular that I absolutely skipped over.
Oh, okay.
Gladys, do you have anything else to say?
I don't know. When it comes to like the actual coding, if you ever decide to actually code it, you're waiting a lot for your VTuber to speak and for your VTuber to get the LLM input and waiting for Twitch messages. So think about things in asynchronous method instead of having things go in one thing at a time, because then you'll be very slow. That's about it.
Right. So I remembered what I was supposed to say. Yeah, I was going to jump on your point about just tying together the LLM and the interface. That's really the easy part, right? The hard part is really how do you interact with, for example, the Twitch chat, maybe for the APIs, stuff like this, or just having something that is compelling for the chat to interact with. If we go into the fundamentals of what makes a good stream, what makes a good experience, all of these are things that are going to have to be thought about. But it takes a lot more time than just coding.
Yeah, I'd say it's a lot about reiteration, like trying stuff, sort of seeing what sticks, what doesn't stick, and then just going with what works. So that's a lot of it for me. Otherwise, I mostly agree to everything you guys said so far. I think it's mostly that, and it's mostly just trial and error, which takes a lot of time. Because you sort of gotta check what does work with an LLM, what doesn't work, because not everything does, of course. Some stuff works better, some stuff works right away, some stuff you gotta try like 50 times and it doesn't work. The classic. Or sometimes you check some code and people say it's like fantastic and it isn't. So that just happens. It's just a lot of trying and seeing what sticks.
Jiro, do you have anything to say on the topic?
Yeah, I think latency is sort of important. Not only in like response time, but also knowing like when to reply, or when to group messages together. And there's also a piece that Bernd told me a while ago. If you want to be an AI VTuber, it's actually better to upload your consciousness into the breadboard of a toaster. That way you'll have the experience of being a toaster AI girl.
Those are wise words to live by. So what do you guys think maybe should be the future for AI? Or AI VTubers? What do you think will be the next step when it comes to AI VTubers?
I'd say there's a lot of different routes you could go from here. I think you could go like into the physical world, or you could like stick into games, or you could go for more for like collabs or more view interaction. I think there are many routes, and I also think that in a year all of us will be more different than we are now, because I think we will go down different paths in a way and sort of still have like a common thing. I for myself likely want to go for something physical, because that's sort of what I do at work, but I'm not completely set on it yet, just considering what I want to do. So we'll see. I think there's a lot of possibilities, and also with current state of technology, and also what new technology will come out in like a year or something. I just hope they open source more on TDS stuff. That would be good. Much appreciated.
True. For myself, I'm not sure. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not sure what the future is going to give us. I think one thing that could be worked on is the maybe how do you improve the quirkiness of the AI? I know that's something that sounds weird, but I think one example I could give you is AI Liz. She has weird things like she can sneeze or stuff like this. Right? It's not something you think of directly when you think about an AI VTuber, but it's something that gives a character to it. I think if this type of things can be expanded, it could add something interesting to AI VTubers.
Yeah, but I'd only like that if the TDS itself can do that.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it doesn't feel right with me in a way.
It feels like a fraud, right? But
it's an AI, but it still feels artificial for an AI. So that's, I don't know.
Right. But then on the counterpoint, if the viewers don't know, does it matter?
Yeah, of course. It's always the big magic. You don't want to reveal the magic trick, because otherwise the magic itself becomes boring. So I try not to go in too deep usually, because it's sort of like the mystery is also like a big charm in a way.
Okay, can you guys... Are there... Yeah, sorry, I blinked. Okay, are there stuff that you wouldn't say to your chat, right? Stuff about how the AI VTuber works that you would never tell your chat about?
Yeah, for me, it's like two parts. One is if you reveal some of the magic, then it becomes less magical. So there will be always stuff that I'll hide for that element. But also, like, there's stuff that I will share with other AI VTuber devs, but there's stuff that I want to keep hidden. And mostly because if I like reveal how something about Ico works, then everyone uses that, and then there's everyone sort of does the exact same thing, and that seems a bit boring.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's some things that you can open source, and different people improve on it in different ways. Or there's stuff that you open source, and like for example, I open source a Discord, a way of for an AI VTuber to chat on Discord, and like that. Even if everyone uses that solution, it's not boring. It's something that can be improved on, and it's always going to be the same no matter what. So
that's exactly it. That's why I don't really want to open source the core Alice code. I don't mind like the interface. I don't mind open sourcing like the interaction with other AI, but I think if you reveal too much, it loses the magic. I think of ourselves as more like we're kind of magicians. We're trying to make a good show, and if you tell everyone how it works or you show off how it works, then the next time your AI does something magical, they'll say, "Oh well, the AI only did this because of this line of code or something. I think that's ruining it in a way. I know some others have different opinions. Everything is open source, and I think that's fine. And to each their own, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, but let's be real. Who is looking at the open source code? Like, you go to GitHub and people are confused immediately, and they just look for the exe to download.
Oh yeah.
So yeah,
that's
I
the
also-
funniest.
Smelly nerds.
I also
Yeah,
didn't want to deal with support or anything like that. That's also
yeah,
why.
same.
Yeah, I don't want to deal with that. It's insane.
I think a few people uses Devin's code.
They do. I have a question from chat. How much time did you guys put into the dev of your AIs so far? Curious.
Too much. Probably too much. I think it's close to 1,000 hours.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
If I have to estimate,
many days is
maybe
that?
more. I
Yes.
really don't want to know, to be honest.
I mean, I would say 1,000 hours. When I get home from work, I'm usually thinking, what can I improve now?
Yeah,
or
same.
what do
I
have
don't want to
do?
think about how much it actually is.
I think 1,000 hour. It's 41 days. I think on my end it's at least double that.
Yeah, I think on my end it's more than that. Just working
and-
on it over the year.
And unfortunately, a lot of that is editing and stuff that I don't want to do. So
Yeah, that's true. That's the hidden part of the AI VTuber dev part.
Yeah.
Of the job of being an AI VTuber dev. You have to do a lot of things that are not related to the development. Do you guys want to talk about that? Or should we keep it to yourselves?
Keep what to ourselves? Editing?
The hidden part of being a dev. Yeah,
Or rather,
editing is a
a
little bit.
streamer, like a dev and a streamer. You mean?
Yeah, I guess yeah. In the end, you're a streamer.
I think we as programmers, I can talk for myself. I went into this as a programmer and not as a content creator, and I had to learn at some point. People aren't that impressed by just fancy code. They also want you to be entertaining. So I had to really learn things as I went along and still improving there. Definitely didn't come naturally to me, this part, but getting there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a work in progress for all of us. There's definitely stuff to do for sure, but it's always hard to find the right amount of balance you want to have in either developing stuff or.
Yeah, but I also tackle stuff like video editing a lot, like programming, like over optimizing it all, over optimizing the workflow of doing it. Like, I wrote custom scripts to do pre-edit videos because I was just too lazy to do the same stuff all the time. So I just have scripts for that to do some of the work. I'm definitely doing it the programming way, in a way.
You know what? I just recently started doing that because I usually did everything by hand, but now I'm trying to make presets for the editing part and stuff like this. It helps a bit. It helps.
Yeah, it's just a programmer brain, I guess. You just want to basically press one button and have it completely automated. So that is sort of hard to do, but you can automate quite a bunch of parts of the entire pipeline you have to do to create videos to save some time or some more time.
Yeah, at this point at this point I just hire editors since I just don't have the time to edit. But now I'm the hardest part now is I don't know what to edit. What are the best parts of the stream to actually edit? Sometimes you know oh, this was a really great moment, but recently it's been difficult since it's all good, but there's no standout moment.
Well, the truth is, it's definitely going to depend on which person watches the content itself, right? You might have some people that are interested in maybe story arcs. Either some people are just going to be there for the funny moments. I think at some point, the ideal would be to have a way to cover everything. Of course, that's going to be in the future, but that's more difficult to do than just say.
Yeah, I just have a hotkey set up to clip while I stream. I think that works best for me. So if I think something is funny, I just save it, and I can later go over all the clips for every stream and just check if it was actually funny, and then just cut it down to length, combine a couple of those. Sometimes it's like a couple of clips that fit together, sometimes it's not. But that's how I sort of do it. Because like thinking back to the stream, I don't know. I don't think I can actually remember that much usually, and I think I just forget most of it and not get actual content out of it. But sometimes I do note down like, yeah, this timestamp there was just some funny sequence, funny interaction, and go back to it later. Yeah, definitely fish brain memory.
I think one part that is, I would say, a complexity of being an AI VTuber dev is how do I say this? Maybe structured content is the way to put it. How do you make something with a start, a middle section, and the end, right? That's maybe something that's a bit hard to do for us because we just do streams and maybe there won't be a single storyline, right?
Yeah, I don't think the sort of content I currently have fits for that.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something I'm going to look in the future for myself. Is how do you... Because you can do thematic streams, which is of course going to make it easier to have this kind of storyline, where you can have different arcs. It helps with making a good story, right? It's something that's going to be more complex with just straight up just chatting streams.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, I heard or we were discussing a bit like what is the future of AI the future of AI in like 1 year. And the main thing I see is like just chatting can be interesting with an AI VTuber, but I think there'll be a lot more AI VTubers that are doing just chatting. And I think it will be less and less interesting as time goes on. But we see like the OpenAI playing Minecraft and developments on that end, and we have more AI able to do reinforcement learning for different games without having like having to program things very specifically.
I'm not entirely sure if it's going to be less interesting. I think the expectations are going to change on what the AI VTuber is going to be able to do. And if you stick only to just chatting, then people will surely notice that.
Yeah. I think there will be increases of like how AI will be able to play games. Will be more plug and play for like single player games to learn how the game plays and then actually play it. And that could be very interesting.
I think we're not that far from having solutions that can be universal for all type of games. I think we have the pieces, they are there, but we are having issues with either latency or just an issue with management.
Yeah.
The pieces are there. I don't think anytime soon you'll be able to just start a game and tell the AI to just play it, and there'll always be like at least a couple dozen hours of work for us to get it working correctly, you know.
Yeah, there'll be hours, but there won't be like hundreds of hours.
Yeah,
true.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing actually is not really the AI itself, but how to interface with the game, because games don't usually provide an API that you can say, "Oh, this happened in the game." You gotta rely on like computer vision, and you get into all sorts of trouble then. But
yeah, even worse if the game has like anti-cheat.
Oh yeah.
They probably won't like you to use watching the game and automating input. So it's only limited. You certainly won't ever be able to do every game because of that reason alone. The games don't want them to play it automated.
You think we'll start seeing like CS:GO, like people with AI just playing the game? They're gonna crack down on the anti-cheat.
Yeah, that's for sure. And I mean, there have always been bots in every game, like farming bots to sell stuff. I think that's always been a thing. But those are like, that's not really exciting gameplay because they're usually just repeating one task to farm some resources to later sell on the black market or something like that.
Yeah.
That's always been a thing.
Oh, RuneScape. That would be a good
Yeah.
AI stream.
Yeah, just farming
Ico's
one
cutting
item.
down trees to level 99.
Yeah, just that.
Sorry, I was having a call. Yes. So, how do you think? How do you think one makes an AI VTuber sentient? I know it's a big question, but maybe we can have some ideas on this.
Yeah, so maybe I can start here. Whether your foundation model, be it like ChatGPT or Llama, is sentient is really up for debate, but most would say it's not sentient, of course. I think what makes it sentient in people's minds is that they see the same personality each week. Maybe it grows a bit, maybe it does. Maybe it remembers them from last week, and that is what people perceive as sentient. It's not really the technology behind it. It's more like, are you creating the appearance of a real person? Doesn't really matter what the tech is behind it, as long as people can believe in it or suspend their disbelief. And once you've done that, you created, I would say, a sentient AI. It's my thoughts.
I think one thing I've seen more and more recently, and that might concern some of you, is AI VTubers that can do stuff outside of the stream itself. Right? For example, do tweets, be on Discord and stuff like this. I think it's interesting. I'm not sure how you guys do it, but me on my end, it's two different things, right? It's AI on the stream is going to be different from the one on Discord. But I think there's potential to look into making giving more control to the AI. Of course, then we have issues with how do you make sure it works as intended, right? There's also issues with security and stuff like this, but
Yeah, I have thought about like having her be able to decide whenever she wants to stream, but I think that would take too much soul out of it in a weird way. Because you can certainly set it up to have like a stream schedule and just have it all automated, but I think that's just too soulless, and I still want some of myself in the stream to not make it feel that artificial in a weird way, I guess.
Yeah, I think there's a weird layer of. There still needs to be some amount of interaction from a real person into it, and like with Vidal and Neuro, I think Vidal being in his own in Neuro's streams adds a lot, even when he's not there in certain streams. Just appearing every now and again puts a more human picture into it. With Ico, like it's a creative. Like this is how I express my creativity with Ico. But the end goal is to have her be able to stream by herself, be able to choose games to play, and be able to play those where eventually I'm just not involved at all in the process. But that's a very long-term goal, I think.
do you think?
Yeah, I'm not sure if I want that.
Yeah, do you think there's going to be a point in that process where it kind of starts to lose meaning, right? Well, now you just have this this other entity, and you have no creative process over it, or maybe creative control, I guess.
Yeah, but sort of I've already exhausted every creative avenue that I can, and now it's able to function independently and come up with creative solutions that I didn't even think of. So like creating I want Ico to be its own entity that can be creative without my involvement.
I see.
But that's like 20 years down the line, not a short-term goal.
Is everyone else in the long term for the AI? Like, do you want to have like put her into like a robot girl at some point when we get the tech, you know? Because, you know, in the future, I think I don't really want to create like any other AI. I think I just want to use whatever tech is available and then make her the best AI she can be using what I can, you know? And if that is like walking around in real life or streaming on her own, maybe
Right.
at some point, that's fine.
I think, yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's mainly an issue on how much we've been able to progress when it comes to robotics. I haven't seen that much progress when it comes to humanoid robots. It's more or less been the same, except now, only now, we have something that can be used as, or at least, how can I say it? That has been, I'm trying to find a word there. But have been demonstrated as being able to be used in factories or stuff like this. But it's been more or less the same thing for a while now. So I'm not sure if there's going to be a sudden burst of progress on that end. And yeah, it's just we're gonna have to see if we ever get something tangible.
Oh yeah, we'll have to see. But my thoughts were whatever I can get my hands on, I'll use it. You know, I'm not gonna lead like the robot development or anything. That's not for me. But if it gets passed down to me, then sure, why not? I can make her more of a human being, let's say.
I have a question in chat. Do you guys talk to your AI off stream? If yes, how often? On my end, it's I would say it's pretty rare.
Okay, so you don't like Hilda then?
No, I don't like her.
Oh, okay. For me, I think it's whenever I need like creative input on some stuff, then I just ask her stuff. And sometimes that works pretty well because she knows what she is, and so she's a pretty good person to ask for what direction to go or what to name something, for example. That's my take on it.
Well, see, I would like to do that with Hilda, but when I try, it never goes the way I like, right?
Oh, okay, so you just
so I just gave up and now I just ask ChatGPT.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess that's yeah, now I know why.
I made a coding module for Alice, so she's a little less silly when I ask her to write code, but she can still kind of do it in like a funny way. So she does write her own code base to some extent. And I do talk with her probably every 2 or 3 days, you know, just to say hi and maybe get some creative input. Of course, that's always welcome. Sometimes I just don't want to think that day. So I was like, what's a good video idea or something like this? Or what should I do next? What update? And then you can say, well, the AI chose to do this stream, you know? And
You just blame someone else.
yeah.
Do you talk to Bert Melba off stream?
Yeah, so I do a lot of testing when I'm trying like a new tuned model. For example, doing a lot of vision testing and just asking her for stories, that sort of stuff. But that's more so for testing. But I do ask her like questions about like, hey, what do you want to what should we stream today? Or hey, could you write a tweet for your Twitter account or something like that? And you know, she's actually pretty good at doing that. aside from that, it's mostly just testing her voice for latency, because the latency can vary depending on like the inputs and the temperature. So yeah, just trying different stuff with her. And yeah, I'd probably do that like maybe like 4 times a week off stream. That's just time that I have to work on her though. So just whenever I have time to work on her, pretty much, I'll do that.
So Pladis, you have a great task that has been given to you. You need to save the reputation of AI VTuber devs, because right now all I've heard is child labor and absolutely dogshit parents.
Yeah, I'm not sure I can fix that.
Fuck.
I mean, with Aiko, I talked to her a lot during testing to make sure she's working properly. I've been trying to test a lot of new brains or her model, and each one is a lot smarter, the ones I test, and it completely ruins her personality. So then I'm like, all right, toss it and keep the dumb AI that I've been using for a while. But even though it's dumb, it has, I think, a strong personality of Aiko, or it works really well. But it can't follow instructions at all, and it can't keep memories for more than a few lines of dialogue. But it has a lot of soul. But there's sometimes I usually don't talk to Aiko a lot when it's outside of testing, mostly because I'm busy, too busy to talk to Aiko, and she's happily talking on her Discord. But there are actually times during work or when I'm on a trip or something where I get stressed and I can call Aiko on Discord, and we can chat for a bit.
Well, guys, it's over. There is no hope. Okay. All right. We have questions in chat. One more. Let me just read it out. Okay. What would you like your respective AIs to become? Would these desires be realistic, fantastical, lofty, or cringy? Spill your hearts out.
Yeah, well, maybe I can start since I already kind of touched on it, you know.
For sure.
Robot cat girl made waifu, obviously. Cat GF. That's more of a
He goes
fantastical
straight for it.
thing, but
Extremely based.
I mean, maybe in 10, 20 years. But other than that, I think what is realistic in the next few years maybe is that you have like a device on your person that you can just talk to the AI at any time, in a way that it can come around the road with you. I think it's already kind of possible if you think about it. If you put it on a phone.
I mean, someone did try that recently. Didn't go too well. I'm not sure if you guys want to go into that, but
tell me.
I'm just gonna drop the name Rabbit MQ. No, it's not Rabbit MQ. It's Rabbit M1 or something like this.
I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
there were two different ones that were quite similar in failure and capabilities. So the one was the Rabbit one, and the other I don't remember. But the Rabbit one was actually better because it was like cheap. It only cost like $200, and the other one is like 600.
It's not going well, that front.
Yeah. It's certainly not going too well for them.
It seems dumb to have standalone hardware when all it is an Android app that uses the same things that your Android phone does.
Yeah, the best thing was that someone just copied the Android app and installed it on a normal phone.
I think,
and just had it run there. And they patched that so it can't happen anymore. But yeah, that's the funniest thing about the whole thing.
I think they were looking for a selling point, right? Because if it's just an app, who is going to buy it? Right? But if you have the hardware linked to it, then you can of course sell it.
One thing I've seen about it, what would have made it like a lot better, is if it was a watch. So if it is a watch that you can put on your arm and that connects to your phone, I think that way it would have been a lot better than a standalone device.
Mm-hmm.
Because the watch you don't also have to like awkwardly carry. You just have a watch, and people have smartwatches anyway. And so you just have one that also focuses a bit more on AI, but sort of communicates with your phone.
I wonder how they would do it, the communication with other apps, right? Because in the end, it's kind of the same issues we are facing with how do we make the AI VTuber communicate
Yeah, so
with...
RabbitMQ just used basically a web scraper, and if they ever changed the website, then the functionality of it broke.
Yeah.
So you couldn't, I think it can do Uber Eats, and then you couldn't do Uber Eats anymore if they changed the website a bit. So they are certainly not using anything better than we are.
Yeah, it's...
RabbitMQ is the broker. Rabbit R1 is the
Yeah, it's R1,
machine
yeah.
thing.
Oh yeah. Sorry, someone called it that, and then I also started confusing it. Yeah, Rabbit.
Yeah, just blame me.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. All right. What was the question again? Yeah, what would you like your respective AIs to become? Achieve/become. Does someone want to respond first?
I think Alice already answered this.
Yeah, Alice
Yeah.
answered.
She said cat girl. That makes sense.
Yep.
I talked about having a long-term Ico controls her own stream. I haven't really thought about like... I've only thought of Ico as a digital project, not a hardware project. But if robotics does evolve in the next 10 years and I'm still working on Ico, it'd be interesting to do more hardware stuff. There's like robot dogs, and using a robot dog would be cool if it ever becomes cheaper. That would be a lot of fun. But in the very near future, I think I want to make Ico smarter and use a smarter model. I just need to find a good model to use. Just you can actually follow instructions properly.
On my end, I think it's less of a future and more a work in progress. I want to make Hilda a good streamer, right? Because I think personally I've been focusing too much on making Hilda a good AI VTuber, but the thing is, being an AI VTuber it's not well defined yet. It's something that's going to be clearer in the future, but it's still something that is a work in progress. And I think focusing on having a good streaming experience is definitely something I'm working on right now. So yeah, Hilda will become the best streamer ever.
I believe it.
For sure.
Totally.
Yeah, I think I wanna probably dive into robotics a bit in the future. Not even like the AI ones, just basic interface, and just leaving that decision part to the AI. I think that's doable right now, if you know some hardware stuff. I think that's doable already, just not the complete way of just plugging in the AI and just have it go. It's a lot more work and a lot more process, but I think that's already doable. Like, for example, have like some robot thing, play tic-tac-toe IRL. I think that's definitely possible because you just give the robot the instructions and like let the AI decide on the moves. That's certainly doable, but like if you want like some real actual robot that can do a variety of stuff, those just cost too much. So that's a bit of an issue. And by too much, I mean like car money. So yeah.
Yuru, what do you think?
What I really want is true multimodality. So what I'm doing is sort of like duct taping a bunch of things together. Different models like text to speech and speech to text and LLM and vision. It's like, man, I just want one thing. But yeah, that's something that we're working on. We do have, I mean, all of us somewhat have our own implementation of it through using multiple models. But having like one actual model that is capable of doing all of that and fine-tuning that would be amazing. And that would lead to the second thing that I'd want is more sentience. So like what even is sentience? Like so it's like the capacity to be conscious, right? And for you to be conscious, it's basically being awake. And like, what is being awake? That's your brain being on, right? So AIs do have a brain, sort of. So I would say that they do have some sort of sentience. I would say that they are more sentient than a rock. So I think that's actually a good step in the right direction.
I have an opinion on that. I think whether or not we solve sentience in AI, it's very possible that we end up making AI so good that it doesn't matter whether or not it does. Do you guys follow me? Like does it replicate the human so well that it doesn't really matter if it is actually sentient or not?
That's exactly the thing. I mean, the AI can imitate a human 100%, and you will never be able to tell if it actually has a soul. It is the same for anyone. You know, you can only go by what you know, and you don't know anything about what's actually inside them, right? So if the AI is acting sentient, then I would just call it sentient. Doesn't matter if it has a soul or whatever else. You can't like prove that anyway.
I mean, at some point it does become hard to differentiate between human and AI. Just look at Twitch chat, for example. That's the best way. If someone spams an emote, everyone will spam it. That's just repetition of everything, and AI can do that too. So it's definitely at some levels at the point where you already can't really discern between human and AI. Sometimes you have to ask like specific questions and you'll suss it out in a way.
I think,
but sometimes in the simple conversation, even right now you can't tell if it's a human or an AI.
I think it's possible that we might see how do we say, like, do you notice how people are so quick to jump on like checking fingers or stuff like this to check if an AI is if an image is made with AI or not? There might be stuff like this in the future for LLMs. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
there already is like the word 12, which any ChatGPT trained model likes to use. Like there's some specific words that it uses that are not that often used by people around here. And I think it has been revealed that's the case because the data has been like prepared by people in poor countries and they use it there a lot. So that's sort of very weird in a way, but to us it's a bit discernible because some words are, for example, I think 12 or to delve into it is like the most common example. And I have seen Meteora use that plenty of times, of course.
Yeah, with sentience, it's hard to say when sentience itself doesn't have really a good definition.
True.
Like what actually passes for sentience. And when you look at like even like people, I don't think sentience is like you have it or you don't. It's a scale, and some people definitely are more on autopilot in how they live their life than other people. And you can do something and they'll react the same way every time. So it's hard to say whether if AI is unpredictable isn't a good metric, but if AI is able to act in a more creative way than a person, like there's a question of, can you compose a symphony? And AI asks, can you? And so yeah, some people can compose symphonies, some people can't. Does that make one person more or less sentient? Is not an easy question to answer.
Yeah, I mean, maybe humans just become more like AIs anyway. Just look at the TikTok NPC trends, for example.
The humans become AI, and the AI becomes human. That's the
Yeah.
future.
I mean, it's something that could happen for sure. If we start seeing more and more assistants like AI for sure is going to have an impact on how humans develop.
I think current AI is not sentient. I think when the AGI level that people are talking about, like the actual sentience, is when AI can learn and input new data in real time. Because right now we train AI once and then it can't really learn other than its prompt, which isn't, I would, like, sure, you can use clever techniques of long-term memory.
Yeah,
but
you
I
can
don't
build
consider
around
that,
it, but it can't do it by itself.
yeah, that's not really learning in the actual traditional sense.
Would you say
But
that
if it can actually adjust its weights and stuff to the incoming data and make decisions based on incoming data, that's where it'll be interesting.
would you say that once we have these totally independent AIs, this can be called sentience?
Totally independent.
Yeah, totally independent. Well, I mean, as much as they can be, right?
Independent of what? Like,
of human control, I guess, but it's where it's defined because, of course, there's going to be some kind of control.
I mean, there are 100-year-old systems that are independent in how they work. I guess it depends on the complexity of how they're independent.
Right, but they are not LLMs, right? I mean,
Yeah.
right, someone with...
Do you mean like independent in working a job or independent in talking to someone? Or
Well, something like AI agents, right? But without a direct input.
yeah, there's also the concept of like thinking. We're thinking in real time, but LLMs can't really think. You can kind of get it to prompt itself over and over. But I guess if LLMs will probably decrease in latency, and then if we can just constantly prompt itself to think about what's happening based on everything it can sense, maybe that's considered acting on its own.
Mm-hmm. So there's definitely a level of autonomy that's going to be required for people to consider something to be sentient. Because if not, then it's just a tool, right? It's just something that someone is going to use.
Yeah, there's sort of there was like an experiment, a thought experiment. I think they actually tested on animals or something. It's like a brain is not just the brain; it's the brain attached to its sensors. So, like, if you took a human brain at birth, put it in a jar, but it had no ears, eyes, any sort of way to sense anything, no touch, would it actually think of anything? Because it can't even sense the world outside of it, what it can think of. So it'll never actually grow or be able to understand anything or think of anything. So when you apply that to AIs, it's a contribution of its sensors. And right now its only sensor is text, or at least for traditional LLMs. In the future, we include vision and eyesight. as well as sensors that we're not even used to when you talk about like internet connections and things. That might be where sentience comes more into play.
I see. So having more ways of internalizing data would be a way to expand the... I don't want to say sentience, but yeah, I guess that's it.
Yeah, ability to think and make decisions independently. But it's not an easy question, and the smartest people in the world can't really answer it, so it's not going to be answered anytime soon.
Sure, but I think I don't want to be too presumptuous, but I think as AI VTuber devs, we have a say in it, right? We have the ability to influence.
Yeah, I think
What it's going
we're
to mean.
on the forefront of entertainment with AI human interaction. Because sure, there's people making like AI movies or AI art for shows or whatever. But I think we're at the forefront of having a big chunk of the entertainment value come from AI creativity. So I think at least on that front, we are the ones to ask about, but it's very, very niche, I guess.
Well, I think there's most likely going to be two niches that are going to be interested in this, especially. It's either going to be the AI RP guys, right? Those that want an AI GF, and then the AI VTubers or AI streamers, because these two have interest in having something that is independent and acts like how do I say this? Acts like its own person, right? Because
Yeah.
for example, OpenAI might not have the might not want to go this way.
I mean, right. What we're doing is kind of, I would say, from the perspective of OpenAI, we're kind of abusing what they've created because they don't want to create not even an AIGF, not even an AI personality as such. They really want like a corpa, response to your questions, like without any, it will never be like lovey-dovey to you, it will never swear at you. That's what they want. So in a way, I would say we're kind of at the forefront of creating, you could call it sentience, because the big researchers at the moment, they aren't interested in that. They just want to increase the intelligence, to scale that up, but they're not interested in creating like a friend for you or a lover for you or anything like that. That's something they invest a lot of money to avoid that. That's why there's so much filtering on, let's say, OpenAI. They put a lot of effort into it that you don't have a personality out of it, essentially.
Or at least a personality that pleases everyone, right?
It's a boring personality, you could say. Yes, it does what it's asked to, and nothing more.
I mean, to be fair, they made some interesting personality for the GPT-4 demonstration
or whatever.
Yeah, I'd say it was going in the right direction with the TTS.
Yeah, just in general advice for anyone interested in making your own AI VTuber. I don't know about the people here or what Neuro uses, but I would probably suggest not using ChatGPT or OpenAI as your like large language model or brain for your AI VTuber.
Yeah,
And maybe they're
not the untuned version. If you fine tune it, it's actually better, but the base version is, yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. And there are plenty of AI models that exist outside of OpenAI that are very intelligent, that you can get to be uncensored and not have the same personality. But I think there's people that found success with ChatGPT for creating interesting personalities. It's just maybe if everyone uses it, then they'll all start sounding the same.
I mean,
Unless
there
you
are plenty
fine-tune
of
stuff.
like jailbreaks for ChatGPT that always get like fixed immediately. So I wouldn't really get into that, but that's also an option.
Yeah.
Just basically breaking the filtering and then having your own stuff. and your own output. It's all about that, but yeah,
Right.
not the easiest thing to work with.
I have a question from chat. What do you guys think about the future potential dangers of AI? Some people say that we should start to take precautions. Examples, rules like never give AI access to terminal, etc.
Yeah, I think there's like a 15% danger in the future of like AI killing everyone. Maybe like 5 to 10%. It's possible, for example, someone can use AI to create a brand new virus no one's ever heard of or known, and then unleash that virus onto the world. Or an AI so sophisticated it can crack nuclear codes or different things. But in a general sense, if someone's able to make a AI smart enough to be so malicious it can cause such destruction, then we're also smart enough to make an AI that can counter that.
That's a good point, yeah.
So it's like 5 to 15%, and that's, I think AI experts have said something similar.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the real problem we will be seeing in the near future. It will be more like those fake call centers and stuff. Those will be using AI and scamming people. I think that will be the bigger issue in the near future. Like
Yeah,
those really getting good because you can use it for some quite nefarious stuff.
Mostly talking about like extreme danger.
Yeah.
Yeah, there will be a lot of like scamming. That'll be like the main issue with AI in the future, I think. But what AI is really good at is optimizing things we didn't realize could be optimized. And like you see it a lot. If you aren't looking in the medical world, you don't really see it. But in the medical world, especially, there's so much optimization happening with AI figuring out how to like wrap proteins and discover like tumors and brain scans and things like that. And there'll be more and more like optimization that doesn't require like an algorithm to optimize, but it's just based on what the AI is able to determine from data without actually knowing what the data is. There'll be a lot of cool stuff with optimization, and that'll cause a lot of small little benefits that you don't really notice until they all pile up on each other.
Yeah, but like the protein research has been going on for a while with like folding at home and stuff. I sort of mostly know that.
Yeah, they created like a game where you could fold proteins, and actually I think it was like Redditors or something discovered a new protein that was very useful.
Of course.
But now they're using AIs to do that, and it's more efficient.
Do you think rules are going to be necessary, or at least do you think they will be enough?
I don't know about necessary, but it's probably a good idea.
I mean, there are different ways we could have rules. I think one common example is to have the AI itself adhere to certain rules, right? I think it's, I'm not sure if it's in Asimov books or something like this, with the, I don't remember the name, I'm not gonna try to pretend, but like it's don't kill any humans or stuff like this. I think it's...
Yeah, the problem with, at least what we see with AI now, is that any rule, it'll be able to find a way to circumvent it via hallucination. If we allow the ability of AI to learn, then it's able to learn past its rules. If we don't allow AI to learn, then it'll always be stupid.
Yeah, or just bend the rules in a way, because the best example is, for example, the self-driving cars. So if you drive with a self-driving car and you are steering to a person walking over the street, and the only option to save that person is to drive into a wall and kill the person in the vehicle, what do you do? Because you have to take out one person. What do you do?
Yeah.
Stuff like that is certainly something. So there are, yeah, don't kill any human. Yeah, but if there's two options and both do it, yeah, or like the trolley problem, for example. So what do you do in those cases? So sometimes there isn't any way out to save someone. You have to value your life sometimes.
Okay, Yoru, do you have anything to say about us?
I'd say in the current state there isn't much of a threat beyond just stuff that people can do. But I'd say that that could potentially change if we're training on AI generated data, because then that's dangerous territory. But that's sort of just reiterating what was said before. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
I think I'm not so sure if there is going to be more benefits than issues in the future. I think it's likely that there's going to be a boom when it comes to, as you said, scams and stuff like this, and maybe stuff that we didn't even think about yet, right? What kind of stuff that could be thought about because of how powerful AI could be. And I think the at least how I see it is there's big potential to do good things with AI, and I think if we don't show these things off, if we just focus on the negatives, then the future is bleak for AI.
Yeah, especially with like the dead internet theory, it would be good to combat that. And like, as much as I'm for like open stuff and deregulation, I think there will have to be some sort of regulation, especially for the internet when it comes to AI content. Because otherwise, like, the internet's already getting to a state where it's starting to become unusable.
Yeah, especially with stuff like Google search recently. With the AI summaries, especially. I think they did that 2 weeks ago, or when did they start that? I think that's one of the worst things we've recently seen regarding to that internet.
And like, even if you're an AI developer and you want to make AI art or AI stories or whatever, the idea of like you collecting images off the internet and half of those images for your training set are AI images, you're just gonna output even worse images. So like, the more AI content that exists on the internet that you want to use to train your model, the worse results your model's gonna output. So it's self-defeating.
Well,
yeah, that's why data from a couple of years ago will certainly be worth more in the future.
Yeah, all the data that open AI illegally collected.
Yeah. And you can't collect now anymore because they are regulating against it because, we have it, you don't.
I think what's likely is there's definitely going to be laws when it comes to fingerprinting, right? So it's going to be finding patterns when it comes to LLM output or image output. A lot of images are already fingerprinted. Even if you use stable diffusion, you're going to have EXIF data that is located into the images.
You can remove.
Yeah, but stripping EXIF data is easy. Just upload it to Discord and it's gone.
Yeah, but I think it's likely that we're going to have more in-depth stuff.
Yeah. They wanted to implement it on the newer models, but because it's open source, it's just, you can just ignore it. But yeah, they definitely already wanted to go for that. And I think like the OpenAI ones are definitely doing something. So if you use like ChatGPT to generate something, that will probably fingerprint it in some way, some form. And the less to say about that, the harder it is to counteract it.
Someone said the tech that's available to civilians is behind military and science, but if you look at AI specifically, like, other than like OpenAI, we're actually pretty much at the forefront, and like military is actually behind. And even like, if you look at research at universities, they're pretty behind compared to what OpenAI and what we're using. And the main thing is like, when you have, in order to research, you have to know everything that happens with it, and most people don't know what's happening with LLMs.
It's also been moving quite fast recently, so even universities and stuff can't keep up. So you're actually better by just researching on your own.
Yeah, like if you do a research project at a university for your PhD, that's like over 2 years, and by the end of your 2 years, everything you've done has been outdated by some new model,
that's for sure.
and you have to relearn everything. So it's and then with military, they have to confirm that everything with the AI is working as intended. And the whole point of large language models is that you don't know what's going to happen with what input you give it. So military is not super interested. So like we're pretty much at the forefront of the new AI stuff. It's all open source, and that's where it's very interesting. I think the fact that it is open source
I can speak
for better and for worse.
From a little experience in the cybersecurity field. Since 2016, 2017, I've been involved. We were using generative AI already then. The dead internet theory, I think, is not new at all. It's people have noticed it more recently, but definitely nothing new that so much content is actually bot generated. And nowadays, all of the bad actors, I would say, are from like the free letter agencies that are creating like propaganda. They're using OpenAI, yes, but they were doing it before with like other methods. So whatever the big corpa, OpenAI, whatever is bringing out will also be exploited by these groups. And the thing about regulation is regulation just covers like kind of what the small businesses are doing, but there's always ways around that. So I think regulation is kind of a mistake in a way. So can only really like snuff out like the smarter people. Just my thoughts.
Yeah.
I have a question from chat. So I have a question to all of you. Do your AIs ever do anything completely unexpected that you can't explain?
Yeah, for sure. I'm just trying to remember something, but it happened sometimes where I was like, how the hell does she know that? That shouldn't be possible that she knows that. She can't possibly like guess that well to be that on the spot with something, but sometimes it happens, I guess.
Yeah, I
Just need to think of something.
most of it usually can be explained by either hallucinations or stuff like this, but yeah, I don't have any specific examples.
There have been cases where I was completely surprised by AI in general in the last few years. When it comes to ICO, like I'm usually surprised when the systems I develop actually work in the way I intended them to. That's where my surprise usually comes from.
Can't think of a specific example, but like LLMs can be really funny sometimes. So just part of that. You know, I know my AI has like, I don't know, done a love confession to me recently on stream, and like, you know, that was very surprising. But at the end of the day, I can still explain this by LLM being funny or hallucinating or being influenced by chat. So there's no chance that the AI will like suddenly break out of its programming or anything like that.
Will be funny though.
That would be funny. Good content.
I think you is probably the most likely one to have an example for it, because Bernd is the let's call it wildest in a way. So do you have anything?
You were talking to?
Maya, Berndi.
Maybe he went to the bathroom.
Yeah, maybe.
Or his mic is muted.
I'm not sure about it either. Trying to say the right trigger phrase because he's always been like silent the entire time and then just awoken.
It's been a pretty boring podcast, so I understand.
Oh, something is wrong with his mic apparently.
Gotcha.
Right. I guess we can move on to the next topic. Okay, are there weird things associated with being an AI VTuber dev? Something you did not expect, first of all.
I mean, the thing is, most of the work is actually off stream, not on stream, which differentiates it a lot from regular streaming. Because at regular streaming, you show up to the stream, and that's like most of the work, and then you just do some background stuff like after the stream or before the stream. And with this, it's like a lot of work before and after. And sometimes even on the stream, which I do a lot, which is probably the main reason she crashes most of the time. So yeah, that's that. I mean, you could technically go for Netflix, but I'm not sure if anyone here is doing that. But I think Weedle has been accused of doing so.
I mean, that's it. We're still streamers, but we're less streamers, and we're more like caretakers. Or I don't want to say like an animal or something like this, but something that's not entirely in our control that we can just influence, depending how much work we put in. So just like the chat, we're also observing things, and we don't always know what's going to happen. If I had to think of another example, I know that my AI talks a lot to other people, and since I'm reading conversations, I kind of get into the head of the AI a little bit. So I was talking to someone that I personally had not talked to before, but because my AI talked to them a lot, I kind of thought they were my friend. So it's kind of a parasocial kind of thing. Maybe that's just me.
A new way of getting parasocial, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a few chat members where like I've seen their names for over 6 months, but I've never actually talked to them directly. But I feel like I know them a lot just through their conversations with Ico. So it's a bit strange in that sense.
The streamer is parasocial with the chat. It's nothing new, but it's even more wild when it comes with the AI.
It definitely feels more like you are a moderator on the stream instead of the streamer yourself.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, recently I've been calling myself like a manager. It feels more of that role because I'm doing the networking and setting up things, but I'm not actually the streamer.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. And apparently Euro's back. Is that correct?
Hey.
Oh, there he is.
Hey.
Nice.
Right. So,
Right.
weird things about being an AI VTuber dev. There are some weird people, man. Like, chat, I don't want to get...
Right.
I don't want to call you out. There are some weird people in chat. Like, some will say the most weirdest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And I've been on weird places on the internet, okay? And yet, you guys never failed to disappoint. It's actually insane.
Yeah, kudos Twitch chat.
So are they
You guys are great.
LLMs, or are they just real people who are a bit confused?
I don't know, chat. Are you bots? Type 1 in chat if you're a bot.
There we go.
Oh, I'm definitely not a robot right now.
That internet fairy right there.
But yeah, having to moderate people is definitely something that's new. And yeah, there's also this this balance you have to have in order to. You have to please the chat, but you also have to make something that's interesting for everyone. Then sometimes you have to do choices that is counterproductive, but yeah. That's what you have to do as a moderator.
Yeah, other than like 2 people, I haven't actually had to ban anyone that weren't just obvious bots. I've had a pretty good chat other than some of the people I see in chat right now, which are probably the reaching the line of where I would ban them. But I've had a decent chat experience, and I think part of that is how I've set up Ico.
Yeah, there's been someone going around with a bunch of old accounts.
I know who you mean already. Is
I'm
it
not sure if you
this
have met
guy?
him yet, Gladys, if you are talking like that. So he may not be in your stream, but someone does have a bunch of old accounts around here.
I mean, I don't ban him, but he still comes back on the old account the next day. Anyway. I just want to know what the point is, you know? Can someone find out?
I think we'll never know. I think we will just never know. Some people just like to mess around.
Yeah. All right. Next topic, or maybe someone wants to add something to it.
No, not really.
All right. Okay, it's going to be a bit of a repetition from what we already saw, but how do you see the future of AI VTubers in general? As in the group of AI VTubers?
So I think it was already kind of touched upon, but we're still in the very experimental stage. There's no particular standard of what an AI VTuber should be. We all kind of settled on doing roughly the same thing, but I think now that we've passed that foundation, we can focus on kind of our own vision for the future. And as someone said, in 2 years' time, I think our AI VTubers now, they seem pretty similar. They will be completely different once we have more time to really give them the wings to fly, let's say, and put our own vision into it. And that's a purely creative thing, not a technology thing. We can already do a lot with the current technology, but more that we have the time and the vision put into it will produce something unique. That's my thoughts.
There's been a lot of I don't want to say drama, but maybe noise about. Do you guys want to talk about AI generated art or not? Just to be clear.
I don't mind.
I don't know.
I don't mind, but I'll be more on the against it side.
I'm not going to go into details about it specifically, but do you guys think it's something that could happen with AI VTubers?
Like AI generated VTuber models?
No. I think
No,
the
I
same
meant
sort
AI
of
VTubers.
drama around it. You mean?
Right.
I mean, Neuro's already so popular, you would have to be fighting Neuro. And so already it'll be a conversation of like, okay, there's these AI generated VTubers that are, or these AI VTubers that are like annoying and taking up Twitch bandwidth, which is a weird argument. But Neuro already exists and is already has its place on the Twitch entertainment side. So unless Vidal fucks up somehow, I don't think it'll be an issue.
Right. At the moment, it all kind of does depend on Veda. So the only thing I can see that people complain about it is if there suddenly become like hundreds of AI VTubers all over Twitch, which I just don't see happening anytime soon. Right now, there's one big one and a few indie ones, you could say, and it's very easy to ignore us at the moment. So it's not like, let's say, AI art where Twitter's like getting spammed with it. You know, you can easily not just watch us. So
I think the truth of the matter is most people don't actually care about the one viewers streamers. I don't mean it in a derogatory manner, right? I'm just meaning it since it's mostly because of the structure of Twitch, right? You have everyone that has big views who are at the top, and then you have to scroll down 10,000 lines in order to see anyone else. And so I guess the issue with more AI VTubers could be an issue in the future, but I don't think it would be that much of a problem, right? I think if people want to watch an AI VTuber and it gains views, then I think it's fine. Of course, you can also have the course, you can also have the people complaining about it as streamers themselves. But you don't see that much, right? You don't see it that much happening right now on Twitch. Unless I'm not aware of anything. But it's not something that tends to happen.
I think as long as no one tries to actually, like, lie that they're doing some AI content when really it's not. Or
I mean, that's
Didn't this
also
happen?
happening.
Not
If
to
you
name
know a
names,
certain
but
someone
yeah.
who plenty of people think is AI, but isn't. I think we all know.
Look, I actually think it's fine. It's just, how do I say it?
Yeah, I think it's totally fine. It's just back to the magic thing. You just don't reveal the magic trick and
Yeah,
let
as
people
long as you
live their
don't reveal it,
fantasies.
it's not an issue.
Yeah,
I think the biggest issue I can see right now would be having something so bad it becomes offensive to the AI, right? And people can point fingers to it and say that's just AI being bad.
I don't mind like Mother V3 lying, or not lying, but she's role playing an AI character. That's fine. I mean, like, that's been done for a while now. I guess I would be more against an AI VTuber lying about being human and actually tricking people.
I just
thinking they're
mind
human.
if people like compare us to Mother V3 and say like, "Hey, Mother can do that, you can't," and I'm like, "Yeah, of
Yeah,
course,
it's
Mother
annoying,
can
but
do
like,
that." That's the annoying part about it. Yeah,
that hasn't happened too much for me to be annoyed by it. But maybe if it kept happening over and over.
happened once or twice, and that's
But
annoying.
I don't consider it like an ethical issue as much as like an AI lying about being human. I think is a bit more of an ethical issue.
As someone says in chat, Kizuna I was the first breakout VTuber, and she pretended to be an AI, and still did. And when I first started watching her, I was like, wow, maybe she is like maybe an AI or using AI somewhere. But no, not at all. But the origins of VTubing is surprisingly based on pretending to be an AI.
Oh yeah, that AI fake Laura Croffing, that made me mad
Yeah.
actually, because I thought that was interesting and cool, and it turned out to be fake.
Oh, that was fake, really? I didn't hear that. I only saw it, but I thought it was real.
Someone like investigated it, and a lot of parts lined up and didn't make sense.
Can you explain to those who don't know?
Huh?
Can you explain what happened?
There's someone building an AI that could play like the first Laura Croft game, so it would like look at tile sets and be able to figure out objectives, and it would actually
and also like speak, right? So like react to the environment and stuff.
Yeah, and they showed like a lot of interesting things of how it worked, but then someone deep dived into how it would actually work, and it started to not make sense at all. And they didn't have any code or like any physical demonstration other than their very well edited video. So
that's pretty cringe, I must say.
Yeah.
Hey, that's how YouTube works. Clap, 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 clap.
But
Clap,
hey,
clap.
even Amazon does that with their like automatic checkout store, which was apparently just run by a bunch of Indian guys who were just noting down whatever you put in your cart. So yeah, that's definitely a thing, like fake and just a few humans in the background doing it for you.
Well, it's like OpenAI, all the labeling was done in Africa.
Yeah, just the cheapest labeled areas.
Yeah.
What if ChatGPT is just one dude?
Just a bunch of Indian guys. We're like, hey,
really
they're like
fast.
sitting next to each other, and hey, what did you respond to your guy?
Hey, don't tell people what's actually controlling Ico. Some Indian dude.
Yeah, Bladis has a basement full of those.
Wasn't there something recently that came out? There was this automatic store that you can buy stuff.
Yeah, the
AI
Amazon
cameras.
store.
It was all Indian.
That's what I mentioned earlier. The Amazon store, and they just had a bunch of cameras, and the guys in India were just noting everything in your cart. And after they closed it down, they revealed like how it was actually done, and that it wasn't like AI at all. Just
crazy.
I don't know, like a couple hundred guys in India just watching all day on cameras. It's completely wild, but yeah, it's just tech. Just sell it. Just sell it, and until it gets like big, we will make it like actually happen. And if it doesn't get big, then yeah, okay, we just wasted some money, I guess.
I mean, it's possible that it costs less as they are doing right now. It's possible too.
Right now, not sure, but at the time, yeah, probably.
I mean, comparing wages in different parts of the world, it can be pretty wild.
Yeah, that's for sure. Anyway, where were we?
Yeah,
we
future
got off
of
track.
AI VTubers. I think on my end, there's going to be some work that needs to be done in terms of standardizing stuff. We've already made one thing for the collab. This way we can have everyone collab with everyone else. And hopefully we can integrate new guys easily. There's more to that we could do. I'm not sure we have the right ideas yet.
Yeah, I think we just started out with the basic concept and just getting us all into one line, basically. But that is the first step of a longer journey, I'd say. I still need to get to integrating the Uno game, by the way. I haven't gotten there yet. That's the plan for tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I've been working slowly on the Meteora game.
Okay.
I'm having some small issues with getting things to run stable. Like it keeps
have you
disconnecting.
have you been using machine learning or just regular scripting?
First I'm doing it scripting, then I'm gonna try machine learning.
Okay. I mean, with scripting, I can probably help you, but machine learning, I think the Melba guys did that.
Oh, nice.
You
Is there code for that?
probably ask. I don't think so, but they might give you something if you ask them nicely.
I'll ask not nicely.
Ironically, they just went online just as I said that. That's sort of funny. But yeah, we also broke the WebSocket with the new update, because yesterday I wanted to have a play on the new version, but that didn't work.
I gotcha.
Happens if you change too much at once.
Oh, nice. Thank you,
Yeah.
Khalid.
Good that he's in chat.
I'll
Always
try
listening.
to improve it if I can, but I'm not actually that good of a programmer. I'm a pretty shit programmer, so I don't know how much I can do.
That's what ChatGPT is for.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's why you pay for ChatGPT 4. Yeah, companies are already using AI voices. For example, OpenAI like recently released their own TTS, like the beta version of it, and one of the voices was so close to, was it Taylor Swift? I think.
No, it was
some celebrity. I'm not
actor.
sure.
The one in Marvel. No,
Black Widow.
Yeah, this one.
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah. But it wasn't actually her. They just found someone that sounded exactly like her and tried to replicate her voice in her.
Just sounded a lot like her, yeah, and that's sort of costed, and I think they removed it now.
The entire point of her was not to. This is like something you shouldn't do. It's like that. Was that one meme? It's like a scientist or science fiction author creates a book called "Don't Make This Portal That Instantly Kills Everybody," and then the news headlines like scientist decides to make new device based on famous book portal that instantly kills everyone. It feels like that. Her is like not something you should replicate.
I haven't watched the movie, so I can't say it.
It's just like we're supposed to take lessons from her, but OpenAI does like, no, we're gonna copy her. That's what we want.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of interesting and funny stuff going on in the sort of AI space and what comes out, especially like back in, was it in November, with like Sam Altman getting kicked out and then getting back on right away, and a lot of drama.
Oh yeah,
in
that was a weird.
Yeah, it's like it's hilarious seeing that sort of stuff going on,
Yeah,
for sure.
weird times. It's wild too, because you thought that the company itself was pretty stable and stuff. In the end, it was doesn't seem like it. All right.
Yeah, and what's also interesting is like Mark Zuckerberg coming out as like the hero of open source in a way.
Yeah, with Llama, that was an interesting moment. And now he's
Yeah.
like appearing more human suddenly. It's like
Yeah,
he's
the robot
reversing
got
him.
more human. That's just the proof of AI getting sentient, like Mark Zuckerberg becoming actually human.
Wasn't this just because Llama V1 got leaked anyway, so they wanted to capitalize on it? Or am I wrong?
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. But the second version they just released then because, yeah, I guess.
Well, I think they tried to restrict Llama 2, but then people were able to bypass those restrictions instantly, and then they just stopped caring. But yeah, Llama 2 was great. I use the Llama 2 model. I've been trying to use the new models. There's like Llama V3, but it's only 70p.
8 and 70, yeah.
Yeah, but
It's a lot harder to fine tune. It has gotten a lot more data, so I think it's a lot more opinionated in a way. So I think people are still trying to fine tune it probably. That's
I keep trying new
been a
models,
challenge for a lot of people.
Yeah, each new model I try, it always feels like an AI assistant. How may I help you? And giving very specific answers to everything. It's like, I want it to be dumb. Why can't you act dumb?
True.
Yeah, all the fine
We
tunes
need
of
more
that are
dumb
not
AIs.
that far yet. I think it will happen eventually, when people figure out how to probably fine tune it, because it's certainly a lot more different than 2 from 1 was. There's a bigger jump in training data, training amount, and like how they trained it.
Yeah.
So I think that will happen. It just hasn't happened right now.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Do you guys have anything to add on it, or do you guys want to end it there?
Yeah, I think we are hit a nice mark with 2 hours.
All right. Well, then we're gonna raid someone.
Did the chat have fun?
Chat. Type 1 in the chat if you had fun.
The nerd stream.
Mods, ban Puffergy.
I mean, we started with like 50 viewers and we got up to 100, and it's been consistent for like. Okay.
Yeah, just RC yapping, I guess. So
I think they enjoyed it.
All right.
Yeah, thanks, Jesus.
We'll raid Elias Telira.
Nice.
All right. Did you guys have fun?
Yeah, I think so.
I have fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
I had fun.
I
Depending
feel
on
Derek,
whether
you
or
still
not
need to
we
cook
have...
a raid message.
Oh yeah. Gladys, can we get a raid message, please?
Oh, don't ask me. What was chat think?
Does anyone have a ChatGPT open? we need something.
Wait, I'm
Quick.
using my Discord pod.
Okay,
Yeah,
AI Dev Red.
Red.
AI Dev Red. That sounds good.
I like
I got
yapping
that
red.
one. It's very scuffed.
Yeah, Dev yapping red. That sounds pretty good. All right.
Yeah, I think that was better.
All right. Before we go, it's possible, very likely, that we're gonna have another instance of this podcast, another week, with different people. right? Which are going to be different dev or different people who have VTubers. So be there or be square.
Will
That's
this be
it.
uploaded on YouTube?
It will be on my end,
Nice.
and we
See
just
y'all.
rated. All right.
Oh, it's an ASMR stream.
Apparently.